Yo, what's happening? Hello to everyone on the backside of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I hope it went well for you guys, and looking forward to today's session. We've got a lot of people registered for today, and a lot of people jumping in already with comments. I'd love to hear. I get a lot of highs and hellos here. I'd love to hear where you're from. So, feel free to drop that into the chat so we can see where everyone's from. I think we had someone from Iceland last time, so keep throwing them in there. Definitely want to see where you guys are at. Okay, well, it's a little cold here in Los Angeles today, where I'm based. I'm wearing a t-shirt for you guys, so you can see the Zonguru logo. But yeah, let's talk about today. So a couple of things different today. Our last few webinars have all been about the COSMO Transformation Service and the idea of how you should transform your listings to be AI ready for both COSMO and Rufus, and how important that is. We've been talking about this now for a couple months, and just of late, probably in the last 2-3 weeks, there's been a lot of chatter in the communities around like, hey, how do we transform our listings and everything? So it kind of feels nice to feel like we're ahead of the curve. Today I think we're going to do a few things different. One is you get an opportunity. Someone here can get an opportunity to get a live listing COSMO readiness report run. We'll do it live. I don't have to mention names, but just literally, hopefully someone's brave enough to just drop any ASIN that they're curious about. They can drop it into the chat, or they can just give me a main buy keyword and we can run it live. And I'll show you this COSMO readiness report and what it looks like. And that is going to be probably available sneak peek for next week, where you can run and actually get these free. So that's one thing I want to do live today and have a conversation about that. And the second thing is, outside of our report and our transformation service, which I'll cover, is look at some of the results. So we have the vision, and what we're doing for everyone here in the Amazon world is providing the ability to transform your listings to be ready for the new algorithm. But in addition to that, have performance tracking specific to organic rank on Amazon and what that looks like. And we do that for our Zonguru customers who are connected. And we have results, right? And to show you the impact of the COSMO and Rufus transformations and what's happening with the algorithm. And we'll talk a little bit about some of those results. We have a sneak peek. So we don't have too much time. We're going to jump in. But yeah, I'm starting to get a few people saying where they're from. That's really cool. So Sean, what's up, man? Always good to see you there. Tampa, San Francisco, India. Cool. Thank you. India, Clearwater, Florida. Great. Pakistan, Portland. Very cool. So a bunch of people live here. So, and above anything else, it's Q&A, man. So if you guys have questions, anything that's on your mind, you drop it in there. I know this is obviously a critical time. We're going into the full holiday season. So drop your questions in the chat. Ask anything. COSMO, Rufus, algorithm, or your heart's desire on Amazon or e-commerce. I'm here to answer it. So let's get into it. So Madeline, Georgia, awesome. Someone's dropping in the ASINs. Cool. Oh, and make sure it's a US ASIN, just if anyone is just dropping it in there. Our COSMO Transformation Service is now available for US and for the UK as our two markets. But we'll be expanding those to other markets soon. But if you do drop an ASIN in, we're getting a few in here. We'll do a live transformation and show you guys what that's going to look like. Let's jump into it. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going. Thank you, Evo, who's always helping us on the back end here to make sure that things are rolling. How it's going to roll today, I'm going to spend, 20 minutes, educating and kind of talking about COSMO, looking at performance reports, doing the live transformation, probably a little bit longer, maybe 20-30 minutes, but it is a fireside chat, so I'm going to be looking at your questions coming in. Please drop those in and we'll answer them as we go. I want to make sure that you guys are getting what you need out of this time that you have with us today, and then we'll have further Q&A towards the end. Let's present my screen. Let's go for it. All right. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen. Yeah, I think it looks good. Eva, I'm just putting this on the side so I can see everyone in the chat. Great. Do I plan the service for Germany? So Germany is an interesting one. Yes, I think, it's one of the biggest markets. We want to be looking at that. I think a lot of the challenge with translation, specifically with I'd love your insight there too, Daniel, is translation is an interesting thing with AI and how the service looks versus English, and mostly because like we're sitting on the side with an English team, so it is on our list, but we're looking at English markets first. But Germany is one of the biggest markets, and I think, well, I know. What's really good about our transformation services, we're so good at figuring out the brand tone and the cultural tone of different markets, right? And I think we can build that into these reports in a great way. So, I'd love to get Germany going at some point. Okay, so hopefully you've been on these before. There's a lot here to cover. I had some comments like, hey, there's a lot to cover here. This is a webinar to give you a taste of what it is. If you're really curious, there's landing pages, there's download reports, there's videos, there's more stuff for you to unpack. So some of it might be high level, but again, if you have questions, stop me and ask, and we'll get more into it. But I want to cover today some of the performance stuff, which I think is critical. If you don't know us, we are ZonGuru. We've been around since 2017. I truly believe that we have been building up to this moment where there's an AI moment happening on Amazon. They need to keep up with everything that's happening, and we are engineered, and we're in the perfect position to help brands and agencies because we have such a deep understanding of the algorithm, how it works, that black box, figuring that out, and all of the AI components we built on top of that, and the results that we're getting. And as this transformation, everyone, I think Kevin King called it the big tectonic shift that's happening on Amazon, right? As they shift from the A9 to these new algorithms, and as that happens, you can't be caught, sleeping. And so we're in the perfect position to help you transform those over. Unpopular opinion for today. I do these pretty much every time, and thanks to Nana Bananas, it helped me with making it beautify my slide. But I think the question for today, or the unpopular opinion, is if your listing isn't optimized for AI, you're invisible to the next 10 billion in Amazon buyers, right? And I think what I'm relating to here on the left is Amazon came out, I think maybe it's 2 weeks ago now. They came out with a projection that they believe that Rufus interaction and conversational search on Amazon is going to add an additional $10 billion in annualized revenue, for them over the next while. So if they're saying that, they're all in on this, right? And they have to be all in. I've been saying this for many months now, that if they need to own that conversational experience on Amazon, much like talking to ChatGPT or Perplexity, etc. They need to make sure that they have an amazing, agentic agent experience on Amazon, and they believe that there's going to be a lot of sales that happen there. In order for them to do that, this is the big conversational shift that's happening. They need a new intelligent algorithm, which is COSMO, and they need that algorithm in place so that they can make sure that Rufus and that agent, when you're having that conversation, you're actually having a quality conversation with good recommendations, good insights, right? And so that is the new algorithm that's in play. In order for that to happen, there has to be a real structure change to your listing, right? The algorithm is intelligent enough to be able to map your listing. We call it a knowledge graph, or a technical mapping that happens on your listing. And if it can technically map the content on your listing in the right way, then it will match you semantically to intent-based keywords or conversational search with Rufus, recommendations, co-buy behavior, all of the things that it needs to do to give a quality experience and for Amazon to make money, right? So this is the cool part of what's happening right now. And honestly, it's a breath of fresh air, right? We're moving away from these keyword stuffed listings, ingredient listed, feature heavy listings that we used to have, and now we have the ability to let your listings breathe, be the heartbeat of your business on Amazon, and connect with customers, talk about your points of difference, how you can meet the customer sentiment, all of these cool things you can now do with the listing and your images and A+ content without stuffing it with keywords, because you are semantically and AI mapped using the COSMO technical mapping that needs to be done, which we're best at because we have AI that we've built that can make sure that your listing is mapped in the right way, right? So this is the cool Amazon. Finally, we're getting to a place where Amazon is actually being is actually being intelligent about its algorithm. It's moving in that direction, and it gives us as owners and brand owners the ability to really let our listings fly, right, and be cool. So optimizing for the classic Amazon algorithm is table stakes, right? There's still A9 for sure, and I'll show you that in the headlines and titles, etc. But they have to move very quickly to this new place of COSMO and Rufus. The real front page now is the AI shopping assistant. If you don't adapt, you might literally be invisible to a huge wave of high intent buyers, right? So, as Rufus starts to grow up going into next year, and I firmly believe that Q1 is going to be a massive shift from Amazon, even more away from A9. You don't want to be caught, sleeping. But also, if you're mapped in the right way, you're going to surface in a more quality way in that experience. So I know I covered a lot there. Some questions coming in, so let's see what's happening here. Thanks for some of the ASINs. That's good. Milan, I love Milan. What's up, Frank? Does the optimization in English translate over well into other languages? That's up to you in your language, and you can use translation services, AI. From our perspective, AI does a great job, but we're focusing on English right now. We'll come back to that. There's a question on alt characters. Yeah, we can come back to that in a second. But yeah, alt text, we do give alt text in our solution, which is important because the algorithm is reading that. It should be reading it more. But alt text is definitely important. What does structured semantically mean? Sorry if there's some words here so semantic is, semantic keyword matching is, instead of it just matching exactly to the keywords that you have in your listing, the algorithm is intelligent enough to say, hey, this is the knowledge graph. I'll show you this in a second, how it's technically structured, but based on the insights from that, it then can match it to all of the various keywords that are out there in the universe, right? Which is like the semantic keyword matching, right? So it references like one kind of keyword, but knows all the type of keywords that are relevant to that one keyword, and then matches you to that, right? So you can basically see one keyword or one technical aspect, and it will semantically match it to all of the keywords that are out there. Hopefully that helps you. All right. Justin, good question. I think I'm going to get into this in a second. Let me get into a couple of slides. But you're asking around, like, how much of the percentages are using Rufus versus traditional, and how quick is that shifting? I think right now it's not shifting as much. And well, let's get into it in a second. I personally think, and I had this in my unpopular opinion from last week, was how do we search today, right? I think most consumers, especially if it's a research heavy, not an intent based, where they're like, hey, I just want to buy it, I know what it is, great, I'll go into Amazon, I'll type it in and buy it. But if they're researching, they're researching on Google, or they're researching on ChatGPT or Perplexity, they're getting the recommendations, and once they have that recommendation, they're then going onto Amazon, they're typing in the intent-based keyword, and then they're finding the product and buying it. That's, I would say, the majority of the experience right now. If that continues, Amazon is going to lose that traffic because they have to own that experience, right? Because we know Perplexity, ChatGPT, they're doing integrations with Walmart, with Shopify. So now you can be researching on those platforms, and you'll be able to buy e-commerce sales straight off of that platform, right? So they're going in that direction. Amazon has to compete. Now, either they're going to come up with some agreement with ChatGPT and get placement in there, or they need to make sure they're owning that conversational search experience on Amazon, and they're going all in. If they're saying $10 billion in extra sales, they're going to have to make sure that experience is great. And for that experience to be great, they have to have an intelligent algorithm, an LLM style algorithm, which is what this COSMO is, right? And so this is the mapping. So this is a snapshot. It's not all of it, but it's used for functions. What kind of target audience, right? when, what time of the year, location, co-buy behavior. This is like a really critical one, because like if you buy a certain type of product, what other kind of products do you buy with it? It needs to know that, because then it can start to connect the dots, right? And say, hey, if someone's buying a coffee machine, they know they go with coffee grounds, right? So they're going to make more sales, and so will you, right? So there's this technical mapping that they've given us. This is literally from a white paper from Amazon. We use this and many other aspects of this to make sure that we map your listings correctly, answer all these questions in a technical knowledge graph, and therefore the algorithm is intelligent enough to then match it to all the experiences, the research behavior, and the actual keyword intent side of it as well. Let's talk a little bit about this for a second. Where are we right now, right? So the algorithm is a black box, right? A9, and I'm just calling that the traditional keyword stuffing manual way of checking where your keywords are on your listing and then matching you, versus COSMO, which is this new technical graphical knowledge graph way of mapping, right? Where is Amazon? It still references A9 for sure, and I think that intent-based keyword search is critical. We're seeing some big shifts towards the COSMO side of it. We're seeing some softening in any listings that haven't been optimized in the last 6 months. We're seeing softening in their ranking. Listings that have been optimized now, obviously with our service, or people that have been optimizing, no keyword stuffing, specific single keywords. Amazon's even enforcing this right now. You can't put more than the same keyword into a title for sure. You can put synonyms. This shift is starting to happen. And we believe going into Q1 is going to be even a bigger shift, right? They have to make that shift. Otherwise, the experience of Rufus and what they are expecting is not going to happen. So the shift has happened already. We'll show you some results. That's the whole point of today, is to show you some results. We're seeing basically at a high level, you're putting listings there, your sessions are going up, your keyword ranking is holding on to where it needs, your conversion rate is going up. That's mainly because of like our service and what we put into your listings and letting it breathe. But conversion rate is going up and your ranking is not dropping, right? So this is really critical. Let's see, exact keyword from SFR and then stuff it in titles, bullets. Is that not relevant now? Oh, okay. So my hit, Brian. Hey, good to see you, Brian. Always good to see you. Is there a cause and effect of COSMO? Yes, I can show you towards the end of this. We have some performance reporting snapshots on that, and actually you can track performance within Zonguru specific to this, and there's case studies that we have in this. So I'll show you that towards the end. Not clear screen. I don't know. Sorry, I don't get that, LTS. So my hits on keywords. So we're still doing, especially on titles, exact match the most relevant keywords that you have out of what we're getting from Keywords on Fire, from brand analytics, search query performance. We're making sure that we're broad matching for those top keywords, exact match for sure in your title, synonyms. So there is still some A9 aspects to it, but done in a way where on top of that, we're doing the technical mapping for COSMO and Rufus, right? And so, that's really important. So I think that covered kind of all of this, but I think, Q1 is really critical. We're getting past the first part of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Going into Q1 is really critical. What is the COSMO Transformation Service? I'm going to high level this for you. There is a landing page. There is PDFs you can download. There's videos. You can see all the details in there. I want to just highlight a couple of things here. It is available for the UK, so just know that. But this is the thing that I'm most proud of with this service and how we're offering it is we've built this agentic model. Don't even know what that means, but it's got multiple agents that really learn your business as a seller or your client's business as an agency. We give you steps in the process where you can add control to the agents. You can teach them mainly about brand tonality. What are the cool things about your brand? You have a step there where you can fill that out and really teach an agent about your brand. It becomes an expert in your brand. And then you can also give input on product features and USPs and how to differentiate your actual product. There's a step on the product intake there. And you have control over those. What not to say about your brand? Are there things against FDA and things that might get your listing delisted? You have control over teaching the agent about things that it can say and can't say. So you will have some control over that. So those are two steps in the process. But outside of that, we've built these agents, and what do they do well, right? One is they do research really well. So it does deep research on your niche, your collective niche based on your main buyer keyword, all your main competitors that you can also input and control over what competitors we look at as well. It does such deep research, and it comes back with like insights around like how to differentiate your product from what your competitors. What are your competitors saying? How are you different? What is the customer sentiment? We do deep research on customer sentiments, and we surface that. So a lot of the feedback we get from people is like, wow, I've been trying to differentiate my brand and how to communicate it from all my competitors for the last 2 years. I haven't figured it out. You guys nailed it in this report. So the human conversion side of it just goes up because we're using AI in the right way. One, we're giving you the ability to input into it, but number two, we're doing the deep research and the things it's good at, and then obviously structuring your listing and mapping it in the right way, which is really good. So that's the best part of all of this, is like you now finally have these listings can truly speak about your product and connect with people on an emotional level and talk about the anxiety that your customers might have. How do you connect on that level? Those are the cool things that come out of this process. And one of the cool things as well is like this is a future look as well, but it's no secret that Amazon's algorithm is based on an LLM. It's the same kind of structure stuff. So how we structure listings on Amazon is truly how they're structuring it on, Perplexity, ChatGPT, etc. So your visibility on those platforms now, there's obviously still power plays between Amazon and a ChatGPT, Perplexity. But if ChatGPT and Perplexity are going to own a research, they have to be pretty objective to who they put on there. And so Amazon listings will have the ability to surface better there. And if you're structured right, they're going to read you right. So not only are you getting it best for Amazon, but beyond Amazon, there are some benefits to you doing this process. Okay, keep the questions coming. All right, we're going to jump into here we go. So let's do a live scoring, right? Let's grab an ASIN. This is a sneak peek. You guys are literally the first. I'm going to show you. Outside of our COSMO Transformation Service, we actually have a report that is pretty much going to be free starting probably next week. You guys will hear about it. That allows you to take any ASIN, drop it in there, and get a live COSMO readiness report. Based on it, we'll give you a score. Not only are we going to give you a score, we actually give you the insights of what you need to change, right? So it's a pretty cool report. I'm going to just jump in and actually do a live listing. So I'm going to scroll up here. Hopefully someone gave me a good ASIN. Let's see. Here's one. All right, let's check this one out. I don't know how to copy this, man. Interesting. All right, I'll just type it in. Let's go, birds. Okay. BO C 271 TC6. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like socks. Okay. Cool. Let's grab it. All right, so this is the listing. Socks. Organic baby socks. Looks pretty good. Good images. Not that much overlay copy, which does need some work, but we look pretty good there. Let's look at it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this ASIN. Let's go right out of here, and now I'm going to show you. This is an internal system we have right now. There will be a customer-facing one, which you guys will have access to. We'll just do one product for right now. Just drop in the ASIN, right, and we're going to generate the report. So it's going to take a second. Oh man, I don't know what they've changed on my side. Oh no, they've just changed this. Do I need to add this right now? Let's add this. Let's see if I can get it. Sorry guys, I think they're just adding in a magic link for it to approve, but let's see if I get it. Nothing yet. All right, I'll come back to it. Okay, let's see if I get this score, or maybe Evo, you can help me with this, but I don't know why. Sorry guys, they're adding in. They want to validate this, right? So I think they're adding in some testing on this. So let's see if I get it. If not, well, we can't do live right now. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is an actual readiness report. You get a weighted score, semantic keyword matching, Q&A, which is definitely Rufus heavy, and then you get some basics on the listing. What it will break down, it will tell you exactly across that technical mapping that I showed you, hey, where are you shallow, right? And then where are you actually strong, and then where are you missing, right? One of the ones that is really important for me to see is, and the one that I find is really good on the technical side and is a differentiator from any other kind of mapping that you're doing, is the used with, right? This is the co-buying behavior that Amazon is really gung-ho on, right? If you buy a coffee grinder, do you also buy coffee, or do you buy cups, or whatever that is? If you can add the technical mapping around the co-buy side of it, what is it used with? That allows the algorithm to map you to other research. If someone's searching camping, making sure that your product comes up, right? Those are kind of good ones. So it'll tell you here, hey, you're shallow on this, and then what are the other things that you should add? Hey, it's with the water fountains, pet cameras. This is obviously an automatic feeder, feeding mats, etc. So you can kind of see how to map it on that side. We get into the Rufus side of it, right? What questions are answered well? What questions are not answered well? What are missing, etc. And then we get into some strategic recommendations. So this is like a free report. We don't only just score it for you. We actually show you where you shallow weak and what you can do about it, which is really cool. And that is obviously done before you jump in and you actually go ahead and do it. Oh yeah, I got the link. Let me see. Okay, so we should be good. Let's see if I can get this done now. I'll generate the port. We'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to go back to some questions from you guys. Let's see if I can see it. Sorry about that for a second. Okay, plenty of questions coming in. Great. So going back to the presentation here for a second, these are the things that in the scoring, some of the things we're looking at. We have over 15 plus categories on the COSMO mapping technical side of it. We have 20 plus categories on the questions on the Rufus side of it, including looking at reviews and making sure that those are surfaced in the product, right? I would say on the Rufus side, it's good to have some of this in your content, but EBC content is really important for answering some of these questions. And let's go ahead and actually just look at what the report looks like. I know we're going to look at some performance right now and case studies. What I want to show you is what the actual listing optimization. So if you actually get this done, right, you're going to get three things delivered to you. One is a full PDF report on your actual content, the current content, and what the new content should be and why and how it's mapped. Then you're also getting, and this is actually the coolest part of this whole thing, is you get a deep dive on your listing image side of it. We analyze all your competitors. We give you some deep insights and recommendations on your image carousel, what order you should put it in, what images you should put in there, the copy overlays you should put on there, the alt tags you should be putting on the background, and also all your EBC content, all the content and your images. Now, we also give you prompts that you can add into, whatever AI software you use to create images that will be aligned with obviously the recommendations, and you can go ahead and do that. So at this stage, we're not giving you the actual images. We still believe that this is importantly done by your creative team, but we give you prompts that you can give to your creative team. The feedback we get from this, especially from agencies, is like the 2-3 hours research that they do around the space to kind of get these insights, they've solved for in a second. All of their insights have been solved, and the recommendations are there, and then they're literally just executing on the images, right? So it is really powerful. So this is what it looks like. You'll see the report. You can get all the details on our landing page. You can download this report and actually look at it, but you'll see, the titles, the recommendations. You'll see, the evolution, what's answered around customer sentiment. The mapping is all here. The A9 side of it is all accounted for. We talk about that as well. Understanding your voice, your USP, your brand voice, bringing all that through is all here in the one content side of it. And then on the image side of it, again, you can read into this, but we literally analyze. We give you a visual reference across all your competitors. What's the visual narrative story? And then we get into every single image specifics, what you should put in it, what copy you should put in it, etc. It's unbelievable what you can do here. And if you do all of this, you will see your conversion rate go up, and obviously your sessions, etc. And I'm going to show you some of those results right now. And then you also get a CSV with all of this. So the cool thing about this model as well, it's a bulk model. So You can do one ASIN, but you can do 100. And literally, you do your brand intake for one, you can add 100 ASINs, and you'll get the output on all of those, plus a CSV that allows you to easily integrate that into your Seller Central account and get that live. And here's the score at the end, 84. So a pretty good score for that specific listing. Let's go ahead and see if this other listing has come through that we just looked at. I'm going to bring it over. Here we go. Let me see if I can see my screen. I hope you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Are you guys seeing this other screen in the way? Yeah, you guys can see that, right? Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so 63. It's not bad. COSMO Rufus, I mean, anything over 70 is generally pretty good. So there's definitely some improvements here. What's interesting here is usually I see, decent COSMO semantic mapping, and I actually see pretty poor Rufus Q&A coverage. This listing does a good job, right, of covering that. We changed the report slightly. You actually get a snapshot up front now, so you can see where the gaps are in this, and then where you're answering on by Q&A, and then we get into the actual report. Whoever sent this, if you send me your email address, I'll flip this over to you afterwards, so you can have this for free. Because thank you for being bold enough to give your ASIN. So send me your in the chat. Just send me your email, and I'll download the PDF and send you this. Yeah, use it complimentary. This is always the one I'm seeing, right? That is super low, and it's saying, hey, really talk about how you use it. Onesies, sleepies, booties, baby shoes. What are the things that it goes with? Get the complimentaries in there, because that will make sure that you match to a better universe, right? Rufus engine coverage, some pretty good green, some orange, some red, and then we look at the A9 versus COSMO listing gaps, and it tells you exactly what you need to improve. So this is an epic report. I mean, obviously, you can now take this and you can implement into your listing, or then you can use our COSMO Transformation Service and we'll do it for you. Let's get back into some of the results here, which I know we wanted to talk about. I'm going to stop for a second and just look at some questions we have here. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, I see a bunch of ASINs coming in. Sorry, guys. We got one in there. When will this software be available? It's available right now. So, the COSMO Transformation, I'm going to show you a landing page, plus a special offer. You can get 25% off. We haven't been doing that. We had a Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal that ran. That's off, but specific and unique to this webinar. I'm going to give you a code you can use. That's available. For the COSMO Readiness Score Report, that's coming up pretty soon. So I would say within a week and a bit, you'll have access to that. The goal of that is, like, we want you guys to check your listings and see where you need to improve this, and then obviously let us help you to get this done, right? And again, I want to highlight that what AI is good at is mapping you technically great across that, but it's also really good at surfacing all the insights you need so you can connect better with your customers and get better conversion rates. And that's what we're seeing in terms of the conversion rate. So so the vision here is, like, you get all of this done, right? But we also have tracking, and we're doing this for current Zonguru customers who have their data connected and have run COSMO transformation reports. We have performance tracking specifically around the organic side and the performance around that for your listings. Obviously, at Zonguru, we have a set of DNA. We understand that, like, your organic results are not just impacted by your listings; it's impacted by the context of, did you change your price? What's happening on your PPC side? Have you been dialing up PPC or dialing it down, right? All of these contextual things that impact your organic results. So not only are we tracking the organic aspects of your listing, but we give you the context around that. So we're tracking your PPC spend, we're tracking your pricing, etc. So if you're changing that, we'll give you that feedback, but obviously, that's going to impact conversion rates and everything else. So, if you make all these changes and then you push your price up by 30%, there's obviously going to clearly be an impact on your overall conversion rate. So we give you the context of that when we look at it. The other thing I would say is, anybody who's doing this, if you're just going to, a lot of people come back and they're like, oh, well, we've seen a 50-50 split A/B test on your title, so we're not sure COSMO transformation mapping is working. Well, I can tell you right now, it's not based just on your title, right? The title is actually a lot more A9 aligned. if you truly want to A/B test this, you need to test your title, your content on your pages. And if you really want to see the big performance lift, you need to change your images and make sure that you have your content on those. If you change your images and your content, conversion rate goes up, all your listings, everything is going up, right? So be clear if you're going to A/B test, what are you testing? This is what the reports look like. I know it's a snapshot. You can't really see in a lot of detail, but we give you some summaries up front about how it's performing. We give you the graphical displays over time. And then we give you even down to your actual keywords. I think we track your top, I think it's either 100 or 250 of your top keywords automatically, and we'll rank those for you. We give you some, AI insights up front, so you don't actually have to interpret this all yourself. You can see in this specific case here, it's like, hey, you've had improvements, but you actually got an aggressive pricing strategy. It's probably coming over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But this conversion rate went up 87%, right? So we are factoring in and saying, hey, these are improvements, but it might not just be your listing. You actually change your pricing, right? So we give you those insights. You look at your traffic and ranking. This is one snapshot: sessions, niche, PPC clicks. We give you obviously your keyword tracking over time. Very cool reporting specifically around your organic side of it. Here's some of the results that we have. This is a snapshot of a specific brand. Sessions up 68%, niche rank up 13%. This is in a 2-week period. Conversion rate up 18%, and stable ad spend, right? So there wasn't a big push on ad spend. So this is a high percentage of organic traffic over time. We've got a lot of these that we can obviously share and jump into specifics at any stage. Here's another one: total sessions up 36, niche rank up 104%, conversion rate up 73%. Although in this case, the price was decreased by 22%. So have to factor that in. PPC clicks up 77%. So the results are here. The biggest thing I can say about this is, like, a lot of clients come back and they're hesitant and they're saying, well, I really want to put all the keywords in my title, or, they're holding on to this kind of A9 side of it. And we put in the recommended listings, and hands down, every single time, we're not seeing a drop in traffic or keywords. So, the mapping is working. You don't have to have it in your listing. It's seeing your sales coming in, and it's intelligent enough to map you that. So, hands down, you're not seeing a drop in sessions, and you're seeing an increase overall with these kind of numbers. And we're tracking it across all of our performers. Where sometimes we see some drops in niche rank, but there's changes in prices, there's changes in some other things that are happening. But overall, these are the kind of pictures that we're seeing. Some really big improvements. Customer feedback, things like, I think I'm kind of mentioned, like conversion rate up. I think like my graphical team just love these insights, right? Because they don't have to be as strategic as they need to be. They're getting the answers, and then they're executing on it. I think that's really important. I think we're seeing things like I don't see the mention here, but the conversion rates up, and I think just those insights around, like, I've been looking for my USP and how am I different to my competitors. This is giving me the insights I need. Okay, so let's go into some questions here. Well, let's just, I want to just jump over and show you the offer. Here is the offer if you want to get it. We're giving you 25% off through the end of December. It's $100 per ASIN. You don't need a Zonguru subscription. Anybody can try this. You can jump in. You can do one listing. You can do 100. It's typically $100 a listing. We're giving you 25% off, so it's $75 a listing. Do your hero ASIN. You can do that and then apply it how you want across the balance. You obviously get the input, you get it out, you can still tweak it. We give you the CSVs. Everyone's like, well, how do I get the payback on $100? I can tell you get that, or $75 in this case. You probably get it in seconds, right? Not only are we writing your listings in a way that allows you to talk about the benefits rather than just the features, connect with customers in a better way, surface your USPs, but your conversion rate's going up, your sessions are going up. You're prepping now for this tectonic shift that's coming. It was happening and it's coming more. You're getting ahead of the game. You're beating your competitors. Most of your competitors are not doing this. You're getting this back in droves in seconds, right? So I would 100% go ahead and get this done. We're getting very great compliments from everyone who's using this. You don't need a subscription. $75 an ASIN. get it done, look at one and then test it if you want to test it, and then come back and do the rest, right? But you will see your ROI will come back in droves. If you are a subscriber, you can be first access to that reporting specifically around the performance, so you can put these live and you can get your performance tracking on that, and make sure that your organic traffic is going. So we're excited about this space. I think there's a lot coming up in the future. What we're doing not only on Amazon, but how this is going to translate into the GEO side, or Amazon GEO is what we're doing, but GEO outside of that, across all the platforms that are out there in the LLM space. Like, this is critical for you to get this right and to make sure that the mapping is right. And obviously you guys get to access that right now. And not only is the product, it's a service, right? So you're getting this model that we built, surfacing it, but we have a team on it as well. We have a great support team as well that goes back and forth. And I hope you guys get a lot out of this. Brian Johnson, no problem, man. You can also follow up with me. We can dive into more case studies. We have plenty here. Obviously, this is pretty high level. I'm going to jump through some questions here. Again, if you give me that email, sir, I will send you your PDF, and you can get that for free. Let me go ahead and see if I can stop sharing my screen here. Come back to me. Let's get some questions going here. I'm going to bring this over. Got a couple of minutes, so let's jump in. Questions from the bottom up. Alan, is this available now? COSMO Transformation Service is yes. If you go ahead and buy now, if you use the link that we have here, if you guys want to get, for each ASIN that you add, if you ask support, they'll give you a COSMO report, audit report, the COSMO Register report, free as well. We can happily do that. Just ask support as you buy them. So we'll match your ASIN with the ones that you purchase. And then probably coming in next week or the week after, there will be, watch out for the announcement, but there will be this audit report available and you can test it. Agencies are loving it because they're going to clients and they're saying, dude, this is the problem with your listing. Here's what you need to do. And this is why, so it is a really good way to sell in, the changes that need to happen by showing clients. Cara, hey Cara, good to see you here. Right now on the COSMO Transformation Service, we're not including an after report, but you'll be able to do that literally starting next week. You can get that, but if you want that, for sure we can run it. It's no problem. I mean, it takes a couple of seconds for us to run. So Mohit, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're asking a question around like, hey, what's A9 versus COSMO? A9 and look, you can't overstuff your titles anymore. You have to follow a clear, concise way of writing your titles. One specific main buyer keyword, possibly one other relevant keyword. It is more A9 specific, but in your listing as well, we're making sure that your top relevant keywords are being broad matched specifically in the right way, right? So I would say A9 is for CYA or covering your bases. Title needs to have that intent-based keyword and certainly broad match for most of your relevant keywords. And then make sure you have the technical mapping, right? If you have the technical mapping, it's intelligent enough to map you out there, right? So make sure you have that. Okay, let's have a look here. Anything else? That's it, guys. I think question-wise, I think that looks like we've got that covered. Oh, good question, Justin. Are we rolling this into Listing Optimizer? Yes. So this is a service on top of what we have. Listing Optimizer inside of Zongu, that's self-serve. It still aligns the AI that's working on that front. If you use that as your baseline, it's still aligning with everything that we're doing Rufus-wise, and there's COSMO mapping in that. But the scoring system in there is still A9 aligned, which is still fine. You need to understand your relevant keywords and have you got that in there. The COSMO scoring system that I've just shown you right now is going to be available, but we're building it into Listing Optimizer as well. So if you're self-serving, you can build your listing and you can see A9 versus the other the COSMO readiness scoring that is going to be available inside. So we're just moving as fast as we can, MVP, and giving it to you guys. getting this out to you, and then we're building it as we go, right? This is kind of the new way of building technology in the new AI world. So we're giving you stuff as fast as we can. Alt-text question. I'm not really sure exactly what the question was there, but in terms of the length of that, you know, there's alt text. You can, you know, we give you recommendations in the report. I would say yes, you need to make sure you alt text all of your images, EBC content. There's further developments in that space that that I don't want to mention too much, because I think we're going to have a leg ahead of everyone. But you know, AI is reading images, right? But how do you make sure that it reads images in a better way than just what it visually sees? There is kind of the trick that we'll be telling you about, and that's going to be critical. I don't think Amazon's quite there with their algorithm, but certainly ChatGPT is. So, you know, moving ahead of the game there, and how you enrich your images is certainly a critical area, and we're going to be doing a lot on that. Again, guys, 25% off. You know, if I haven't sold you enough on it right now, go to the landing pages, read on it, watch the videos, test one ASIN, test the system, make sure you understand your brand. If you don't, this is a good exercise for you anyway, and you will see insights on that. You know, it helps you to see the forest from the trees, right? We're so close to our business and our product. Getting some more insights about how to do this differently, connect with customers, you're going to get that just out of this process. So I would 100% do this. Get yourself ready for the new year. I'm going to jump off. I've got to jump on another webinar in a few minutes. But I hope this is helpful, guys. There's some more. We have another webinar coming out. It's probably going to be a lot more around this COSMO readiness reports, and giving you access to using that yourself. We'll jump into some more live teardowns. I have a live teardown happening on LinkedIn on Tuesday. Anyway, I'm here, guys. Anytime you need me, you know, this is obviously a critical area. There's a lot of talk about this in the space, and I hope, you know, you guys gear yourselves up and be prepared so that you're ahead of the game coming into the new year, and watch the space. More webinars coming out. And, you know, certainly on any webinar, if you want to hear things differently, or you know, learn something else that I haven't talked about, just put it in the chat right up front. I want to hear from you guys, and we can jump into that as we go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good luck out there, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.